This is the story of two churches, the Mill Valley Methodist Church and the Tam Valley Community Church. In 1906, Mill Valley's William Abbott, who worked at the Methodist Book Concern in San Francisco, refused to tolerate a community without God and started a Sunday school at the Outdoor Art Club. But the church actually began later when he asked Reverend Arnold Needham, pastor of the San Rafael Methodist Church, to conduct services in Mill Valley on Sunday evenings. This continued for 2 years, with the fledgling congregation meeting whenever space was available. In 1909, after purchasing 2 lots at Sycamore and East Blythedale, the congregation constructed a platform tent on the site. Unfortunately, the tent was flattened the first winter, forcing the congregation to return to the IOOF Hall. In 1913, the first sanctuary was constructed. The Tam Valley Church traces its beginnings to 1926, but it wasn't until 1929 that the California Church Council allocated supervision of the Tam Valley area to the Methodist Episcopal Church, with Reverend Brown as its first pastor. The next year, they purchased a lot at Main and Ash, and 7 years later, the first service was held in the chapel, which remained in service for 50 years until it merged with the Mill Valley Methodist Church in 1987. Even though it was a community church, it took years for the congregation to come to look at itself as Methodist. In 1937, the Mill Valley Church celebrated its 25th anniversary with Fillmore Gray as pastor. Later in 1940, Wesley Hall was erected on the second lot. It contained Sunday school rooms, a kitchen, and a social hall. What was known as the Brown Church was very popular with many fond memories. The pastors remembered. Choirs remembered. Glenn Danley leads the children's choir. The Brown Church during a service. The congregation grew and expansion was needed, resulting in the purchase of 5 acres of swampy mud flat at Sycamore and Camino Alto in 1954. Ground was broken at the new site in 1959. Fundraising, moving dirt from the old church site to the new one, the plans were drawn. Groundbreaking ceremonies and finally completion of a new fellowship hall, Sunday school rooms, and administration building in November 1959. A new church sign was installed, and the first services were held in the new fellowship hall. Russell Oakes served as pastor from 1961 to 1967. He saw the completion of the new nursery school in 1962. The world was changing in the 60s with mission teams going to Mexico and Costa Rica. Earl Lindman, with others, makes ice cream. Evelyn Gallagher begins teaching Sunday school. In 1965, thanks to gifts from the estate of Gladys Elam and a loan from the Board of Missions, work was begun on the sanctuary. Ground was broken in February 1965 and construction completed in July, along with a beautiful stained glass window on the back wall in the memory of Gladys Elam. Remembering Frank Weber, who was treasurer for many years. Enter the era of 1967 and George Carter in the new sanctuary. The choir in the narthex. Wendy Fontana and Georgette Gilbert. The all-male bell choir. The honor roll of pastors serving the church include Gil Vieira, 1973 to 1982. David Fewens Pittman, 1982 to 1991. And Judson Gears in 1991. Changing demographics made the maintenance of a second Methodist church unrealistic, and in 1987, the Tam Valley congregation joined with the Mill Valley Church to become the Mount Tamalpais United Methodist Church. Arnold Vorster, David Slorp, and current pastor Chris Sation round out our family of pastors and bring us to the present day. We look forward to the next 100 years with great expectation and promise while remembering our remarkable past.
Trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney top. That's where